Hello and welcome to John's Author Diary for the weekend in April the 18th, 2021. I have had a busy week. I have made good progress on my novel Dawn of Assassins. I'm about a third of the way through. The progress isn't as fast as I would like, but what I'm doing is I'm using a method called cycling. So what this means is I'm going back over my work as I'm writing. So they are good words when I'm finished. So I'm basically at a second draft stage by the time I get to the end, or at least that's the idea. So I've also been helping my wife this week. She's a teacher and she's been off work. So I've been helping her set up her website for a new business. So she has been a editor for a few years now, and as she's going more into that business as a primary way of making money, we've set up a website. So that should be live over the next day or two. That'll be cherryedits.com, and she's specializing in independent authors, so authors like me who do self-publishing. So check that out. This week I have taken advantage of the lifted lockdown restrictions in the UK. We spent Monday afternoon in a pub garden. So that is the first time we have done that in quite a while. We went to Lancaster Brewery and we had beer and pizza. The sun was shining and it was just great to be out to see people happy, enjoying life. We also went swimming on the Tuesday, which again, that was great. Just getting that exercise, getting that movement. Though I have to say, my back and shoulders did feel it for a couple of days after. Now, I love swimming and it's been a while since I've been, so I'm just really glad to be getting back into that. And it definitely gave me a boost. The whole thing, just seeing people, seeing the smiles, getting out there, feeling like life is getting a bit closer to normal. That was great. So I think that really helped with the writing. I've had the best writing week I've had in a while, and it feels like I was writing before the first lockdown. So got into a good flow state, and it was one of those things where I was writing, I looked up, and an hour and a half had passed me without me really realizing it. So that's good. That's where the good focus stuff is, and that's what I like. If I can get that, that's superb. So in terms of reading this week, I read a couple of books. I read book one and two of the Rhyria Chronicles by Michael J. Sullivan. Now, I've been reading this series for a while now. I read the first six books, which are actually later in the series, really. So these are prequels, but they were published later. So these books are The Crown Tower, The Rose and the Thorn, and I'm currently on The Death of Dulgarth, which I'm about a quarter of the way through. I'd recommend reading these in chronological order rather than publication order, because even though the stories work really well, they're really well told, really well written, the drama is lost. Some of the characters that I'm familiar with from the later books are present, and it doesn't quite have the same thing when you go, oh, I know how she ends up, or oh, he gets killed here, or whatever. So it's better to read it in the chronological rather than the publication order. I mean, what are you reading at the moment? Let me know in the comments. Get some recommendations down. I did hear this week about a thing which I am quite tempted by called Amazon Vela. So this is a thing that's meant to be coming out this coming July, and it is an attempt at getting serialized fiction. So from the way it looks, you get small chunks of a story, kind of a bit like a Netflix series, and you buy them on your mobile. I think it's aimed at shorter reads, mobile readers. Now, I did this with my Ravenglass Chronicles, so these were usually 20 to 25,000 word novellas, and obviously I did 22 of those if you include the prequel novella. So that worked really well for me. It looks like the Vela stuff is 5,000 words. Now, I know that forever I could do 5,000 finished words a week. So that is tempting. That is tempting as a thing, as a way maybe to do this huge epic fantasy. So instead of doing it, sitting there in front of a book, getting the words down, getting a really solid outline done, and then getting it done in these 5,000 word chunks, maybe publishing a chapter every week. And then by the time I've done, say, 24 chapters, I've got a hefty book that is then ready to repackage and publish as a novel. So that is something I'm considering, definitely something I'm tempted by. Whether I do it is another question, but the option looks like it's going to be there. So Next week, then, my wife is back at school. So she's a teacher, as I mentioned. Don't worry, it's not a strange underage thing. And I'm going to be focusing on Dawn of Assassins. I really want to get up to the halfway point in this book if I can. The key, though, is to get it as good as I can before I move on to the next chapter. And then when it's done, I'll obviously do the final pass. So with these Facebook Lives, as I say, this is the first one I've ever done. I would like it to be more of an interactive thing. I'd like to be able to answer your questions. So if you've got any questions for the next episode, please do leave a comment below. So until next time, cheerio.